All right, so Vicky Cool here is with Kirk from the Read Effect. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, doing the best I can, considering the times.
So you are re-releasing the album that you put out during COVID. You're going to do it as a singles project. Is that right?
Yes, and we just released the album just like a couple weeks ago, or like 2, 3 weeks ago. So our first single, we want to re-release it and do it proper. It's definitely worth being more than thorough getting this music out there. Absolutely. So yeah, and there's 6 singles. There's 7 tracks actually. The 7th one is a different kind of thing, but there's 6 songs, and I want to release each one as a single over the coming months.
You see, that seems like the thing to be doing, though. I mean, I've noticed a lot of bands have taken the single approach of releasing whole things because with the pandemic and not being able to tour and whatnot, I guess it's keep the fans interested.
Yeah, and you might as well milk it as much as you can. And it's a single type world. We hired a consultant last year, Daryl Hurst from CD Baby, and he was saying it's all about singles now. My producer and I, we wanted to release the whole album as well because we're really happy with it. We went all out on it, and we wanted to direct as much traffic to the whole album. But at the same time, we're going to be now releasing single, 6. And then hopefully turn some people on to the whole album as well.
Now, this has got an emotional attachment to you. I mean, this is the last album you did with your brother. Is it hard to put out these songs when you're going through everything, or?
Yeah, I have my moments for sure. And the thing is, it's my brother's swan song. My brother Chris. It's his swan song. It's his final professional recording. And he nailed it. He did all the backup harmonies. It's beautiful. So I want to honor him. I want to get the music out there because it's kick-ass for sure. But I also want to honor him and his legacy as well. So I'm extra driven. I've never been so driven releasing music. It's tough to hear his harmonies and things like that. So he left October 10th. And we were actually supposed to release the album October 16th, just a few days later. So of course, everything, and then the subsequent 2 to 3 weeks, this band didn't even exist. I didn't even know what the Read Effect was. It was like, it's done, But then about 3 weeks in, I was like, no, man, I gotta bring it out for Chris and for me. And the work, we spent like 2 years in this thing. We spent so much time, we've been through so much shit. And then, and a lot of friends who have been listening to the album, they're so happy that I decided to release this. So I want to do it proper. I'll have a new lineup. It's strange. And again, I have my moments, but it's very important to me from a whole other level. And he was kind of struggling and suffering a bit, but I want to take this darkest moment of my life. I mean, for me, he was the most important person, my brother, my best friend, my bandmate, and I can't, I've been having to adjust. It's been like just over 8 months now. So I'm really adjusting to this new reality, but I want to see if I can, through our music, I can bring any kind of encouragement and hope and fun and some uplifting music to anyone who could use them. So I'm trying to turn this darkness into some kind of light for others through Chris and my music.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to see you're able to carry on his legacy. I mean, it's been a tough time for everybody. I mean, obviously, it was tougher for others during, being in shit like that during this lockdown. It affected everyone differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unreal. And I found him October 10th. I couldn't even talk about. I've done a couple interviews already, so I'm ready to talk about it now. And it's part of the story of this album too. We even have a new logo. It's the Read Effect, but there's a teardrop in the middle to honor Chris. So everything's based on him. And then the album, I can mail you a CD. There's a special page in it that my good friend put together as a tribute to Chris. So yeah, I talk to him every day. And I'm, again, like I said, far beyond driven, if I can say, to get Chris's Swan song out there.
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to be an amazing tribute. I've listened to a bunch of the tracks so
Oh,
far on
cool.
here, and I mean, it's fantastic stuff.
Oh, thank you,
So,
thank you. Yeah, and if it was just average music, I've been in bands and I've seen tons of bands and I know what's good and what's not. I mean, you heard it yourself. It's, you know, we did go all out. I mean, um, if it was just average music, I wouldn't be as. I mean, I'd still want to, just a ton of Chris. But this got some legs. I can back it up with something that people are gonna enjoy.
how did you hook up with Brian?
Brian Fontes.
Yeah,
Oh, you know Brian?
yeah, Last Bullet, right?
Last Bullet, yeah, yeah. So he was the drummer for the Reed Effect for the last two albums. So yeah, and he killed it. He killed it on percussion. He's down in Hamilton, so and we're still talking. I want to get him to. He even offered to direct a video for one of these singles. So yeah, no, we've done countless. So he was part of the band for like 5 years, and then during the recording, it just became, you know how bands are. You know, you go into different channels into your life, and so it did. So he wasn't technically in the band by the time I released it, but he did all the percussion. He helped with the song arrangement, and he did an amazing job.
So going forward, I go, how's this band going to work out? I mean, there's you and who.
Yeah, so I have a brand new lineup, and it took a few months to build up, and it's solid. We just did our first live video shoot a couple weeks ago. I haven't released anything because it's not it's not edited or anything. But yeah, there's my duo partner. There's a girl that I played with in a cover band over the years. I'm a full-time musician, so I teach, I work with kids, and I'm in a cover band as well. It makes money anyway. Original bands usually cost more money than anything. Although I'm going to try to change that with this album. So Carm, Miss Lamont, as she goes by, she's the thing is with Chris and Brian, we were a three-piece. Whenever from the beginning, from the incarnation of this band, it's always been a three-piece, and I can't do a three-piece without Chris again. It's too strange. He has too big of no one can fill his shoes or try to replace it. You can't do it. He had too big of an impact on this band and all the listeners in the audience and all our friends and people's lives that he's touched. So now I have a four-piece. So Miss Lamont, Carmen, she's gonna be the second guitarist and backup singer now. And I have a bass player, Matt Kilborn, and Chris had his own band as well. Like he was in this band, the Reed Effect. Our last name is Reed, of course, the Reed Effect. But he had his own band called Fat Mob, and at some point I'll help those guys release some unreleased material. So there's some more music to come out from Fat Mob, some songs he wrote, Chris. So anyway, the bassist for Fat Mob is now in the Reed Effect, which makes sense. And he's a sweet guy, Matt Kilborn. And then Kevin Costa, he's subbed in a lot over the years. Like if Brian couldn't make it, he was really busy because he was in Last Bullet too. Like they were busy, right? So there was a few gigs that my friend Kevin Costa played drums. He's a phenomenal drummer. He's in my girlfriend's band, Second Pass, as well. And I have a blues band with my partner as well, and Kevin's the drummer for that band. So anyway, Miss Lamont, Matt Kilborn, and Kevin Costa. And the songs it's weird because some of these songs I've never played live, right? Like this has all been studio for the last year and a half because COVID. So I think there's only one song that Matt that we've ever performed live. So this is all a new thing, man. Strange, but beautiful in a sense. And I need a band that can match the quality and the standard of the album and that which you've heard, right? So now I have a band we've been practicing for months. We're all set. We got all those songs down in a live. We have a live set all ready to go once things open up. I would really want to get down to the States too. But anyway, that's the new band.
Now, when you're putting out these singles, are they in the order that you had them on the album, or are you picking songs out that you're like, you know what, I want to do this here, or?
Not necessarily. The first song, Fine Here, which is the first song on the album, is the first. Our producer, Ted Sedalis from here in Toronto, amazing producer. You know, half the reason the thing is so amazing is because of him. But anyway, he wanted Fine Hair to be the first because this, you know, it just grabs you, right? In your face, rock and roll, fun. But I don't think, actually, the next song is Rise Up. I think we're going to release Rise Up next. But no, it's not going to be in the order. It just happened to be for the first song, and maybe the second. But I'm still not sure the order. 1973, which I think is the third track in the album. I have a video all set. We're ready to release that whenever. But the thing is, like, it's a rock and roll album, and we did draw on some classic rock influences and stuff like that. But we don't want to be pigeon-toed into like a 70s kind of tribute band, right? And the video is all 70s, very psychedelic and beautiful. It's amazing. But we're going to release that maybe a fourth or fifth, just so when people have a first glance and say, well, what are these guys? The holy 70s, man. I mean, you saw the album cover, right? It's psychedelic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So total, and the video's like that, right? Cool. But I don't want people to think, it's a modern kind of rock and roll album too. So no, it won't be in the same exact order.
Now, did your brother help with the lyrics on these, or is that all you?
It's all me except for there's one song, Megalomania, which is the 6th track. He wrote the lyrics in the bridge. It's funny, he brought the lyrics, and he's a great lyricist. But lyrics, you know, I'm the main singer, so I just write the lyrics. So as far as from what I remember, I think I wrote them all except for the bridge and Megalo. It's funny because I wrote my lyrics for that part, and Chris wrote his, and our producer Ted chose Chris's, which I agree with. It's more poetic. And it's interesting. I put a little teaser of that little part of the song. And it's a strange kind of poetry. It goes, lost, and can't you see that I am just a turnstile for the ways that you think, and the world is wild. So it's a little on the dark side, and a lot of the lyrics in Fat Mob was a little dark as well. But anyway, other than that, yeah, I write all the lyrics.
The only reason I was asking, I mean, if you know, any of the lyrics might have led up to, you know, knowing something that was off with your brother or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, the thing is, all these lyrics were done. Like, we finished recording like a year and a half, like last March. We were supposed to release the album May 1st, here at the Horseshoe, you know, the Horseshoe Tavern here in Toronto.
Uh-huh.
So May 1st, Craig Lasky, the booker there. So anyway, we're all set to go May 1st, Saturday night. I had it lined up. I spent so much time organizing the whole thing. And then, of course, COVID changed everything. So we postponed it till October 6th, you know. And we were just going to release it online. Of course, there were no live shows last fall either. And then the lockdown. So all the lyrics were all written. I had no idea what was going to happen on October 10th. Like, so, and all the music was done too. Like, we finished all the music. So Ted, our producer, he was trying to kind of not rush, but he was mixing. We were getting ready to master. And then once COVID shut everything down, I had to postpone the gigs. And then Ted said, okay. And he says he had nothing else to do. We were in lockdown, so he spent all his time just combing through all the songs, mixing, like, you know, he wouldn't even sleep at night because he's like, okay, that snare on the 32nd bar of the 6th song, maybe on the 3 and part has to be a little more. So he just dialed in. That's why the production is like through the roof, because he had months and he just spent and combed through it over and over. And then we got it mastered back in the beginning of October. So if I can share part of the story, October 9th, my brother Chris went on a trip. He was struggling, and I was witnessing it and trying to support and love him the best I can. And he ended up kind of serendipitously, he went on a road trip out west for like a month of September. And I thought, this is great. Just get away, clear your head, have fun. Which he did. He came back and he was suffering some more. He had carpal tunnel as well that was developing in his wrists. So we weren't able to jam anymore. And I said, don't worry, just you play keyboard, play the bass lines on the keyboard, still sing backup. I mean, you hear his backup harmonies, like on the album. It's amazing. He did all of them on a 3-part, 4-part, whatever. So anyway, October 9th, he just got back a couple days before this. October 9th, I saw him after his trip. And we had a pint and we listened to the whole album from front to back, master. What you heard, we listened to the whole thing Friday night together for the first time, and would be the last time as well. We had a pint at the Rhino over here, and the next time I saw him, he wasn't with us. About 24 hours later. So anyway.
Sorry to hear that, man. I mean,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was insane. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so it was all done. Oh yeah, we were supposed to release it October 16th, the following Friday. He had carpal tunnel, and he had a specialist all set up for that following week because he was going to get surgery. There were 3 things. We were going to release the album. The second one was he was going to get surgery for his carpal tunnel, and the third one was his boss Todd, who they've been working with. He was an engineer, my brother. He was a musician as well, of course. He helped teach a little bit with me at the school, music academy I teach at. But he's an engineer, and his boss, I mean, I was the one that had to call him and say, I'm sorry, they worked together for years, and he has nothing but amazing things to say about Chris. He was brilliant. I would put him in the category of a tortured artist, actually. But anyway, so the third one was Todd called him on October 7th, which was the Wednesday, and said, I got all this work coming up, because, with COVID, Chris lost a lot of work. And I think he had a lot of free time. And, with the lockdown, the carpal tunnel, the losing work, and just suffering, some depression and some other issues. It was just too much. But anyway, Todd said we have tons of money coming in, tons of work. And he was actually offering Chris shares in the company for the first time. So those 3 things were coming up the following week. And I guess, I don't know, he wasn't willing to. It was just interesting that everything was falling on that following week. And then he's like, no, he was tapping out. He was, he left.
It's terrible, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But you definitely are carrying on his legacy with this fantastic album and releasing everything. The first single is coming up this Friday, correct?
Yeah, I think Thursday, actually.
Well, you're premiering with me on Thursday, and then.
Okay, Friday. Yeah, later on this week. Yeah, really excited to kind of tap more into the American market. Like it's nice that Chris and I are American, eh? We're American, eh? We have a dual. I have a dual passport, so I'm really interested in. And I know I have a lot of friends in America as well. But yeah, later on this week, fine here, and I'm confident a lot of people it'll turn a lot of people on to what we do.
Yeah, I listened to the track, man. I listened to it probably about 5 times before we did this. Oh yeah. I've heard it. I heard it this week when they first told me, but today getting into this and just listening to that song over and over, I only want to listen to it once, but I kept hitting repeat because dude, man.
Nice, cool, thank you.
Now going forward, man, how are you guys going to start doing shows? Only with you guys being in lockdown still over there in Canada like this. Announcements are coming for like the fall of shows and shit, but I don't know. Who knows if that's going to happen?
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty confident that I think by this fall, the numbers are dropping like every week. It goes lower and lower here. And the thing is, summer isn't really the best time, at least around here, to do many shows anyway. So I'm looking towards the fall. And I want to start booking actually fairly soon to start, because I'm getting invited to shows like for November, December. So I want to kind of capitalize on that. I can't see realistically doing any shows till at least September. I'd like to set up some mini tours to maybe Buffalo. You know, you have Ottawa, Montreal, some other places. So in the meantime, I want to get as much momentum as possible. I have the band all set. We have the songs more or less down. I'd actually like to start writing fairly soon as well for the next album. And the thing is, Chris recorded everything. Like, he was just like that. You know, I'm not like that at all. I wish I was. But anyway, Chris has all these riffs and ideas from years. So I'm going to be using these riffs and write a new album with a new band. So I want to start on that. It'll take like a year anyway, so I might as well get to it. But anyway, to answer your question, I can't see any shows being a possibility for like 3 months or so. But in the meantime, I want to work with Allison and other people to get. I have a radio tracker here in Canada as well, Andrea Morris. I have a campus radio campaign, so all the universities in Canada are starting to listen to our stuff. So I'm hoping by the momentum, because a lot of people are still home around here too. So I'm, you know, video. You want to go to YouTube, right?
Right.
And streaming services are huge. So I want to push it as much as I can for the next 3-4 months. And I'm confident there'll be some momentum by then, and then start hitting it with shows.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, you definitely want to start locking in those dates. I mean,
yeah.
Regardless, I mean, there's only so many venues. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and a bunch that went up here in Toronto at least. There was a few that couldn't take it.
Yeah. I mean, the same.
They closed down for good.
Yeah,
It's a different world. But I think there'll be more that'll come up once live music is a thing. And my hope is that there'll be a resurgence of love for live music, and then we can begin the Roaring 20s, like for this round 2 of the Roaring 20s. Because live music has been, I mean, here and there it's good, and for the bigger bands, but it's pulling teeth a little bit. You know, DJ is big and hip hop, which is cool, but I think live music, man, there's something very special about it, at least for me. And I'm not an alien. I know a lot of people that live music is one of the biggest joys for many people. And I think there'll be somewhat of a resurgence, at least that's my hope, for a love for live music. So I want to capitalize on that with this new band and with the new album.
I definitely think people are going to be more in the moment. I mean, I can remember a year ago when shit was going on, you know, before everything went on. Everyone's on the cell phone or not paying attention to really what's, you know, they're not appreciating the.
Yeah, exactly. But now that it's been they've been deprived from live music for like a year and a half. They're like, okay, you know, and then when you get back into it, it's like, wow, you know that old adage, you don't know what you have until it's gone. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm, you know, there has to be some hope, man. And then again, that's part of my message with Chris, to bring some other people hope and encouragement and a damn rockin' time as well if they come and see the Reed Effect live.
Now, people want to follow up. They want to know more about the band. They want to hear the music. Where do they go? What do they do? Well,
they go any social media. We're all over the place. But our website would be the best, therereleasing.com, and that's Reed with 2 E's. And you have all the links to Instagram, Facebook, all the Reed Effect, YouTube, Twitter, all the social media that all the kids are into. So it's easy to find us. But yeah, go to the website. And I have shirts and CDs for sale. There's a store on the website. TheReedEffect.com.
And what kind of time frame are you looking at for these singles to be coming out? Is it like every month, every 8 weeks?
Every like 6 weeks, I think. I really want to milk the hell out of this thing. And each song is strong enough to, and we spend so much time, you know, like, and each song is strong enough to be released as a single. So I'm thinking every 6 weeks or so. And the 7th track, if I could say quickly, Chris and our father is a minister, right? So we're preacher's kids. And he was raised in the Pentecostal faith anyway. So I did a kind of a sermon of rock and roll kind of thing, like the last track. It's called Preacher. So I was influenced by watching my dad preach as a kid, so I kind of took that. And it's a rock and roll kind of, it's fun. And I have a video for that as well. And that's actually the final video that Chris was in. Not the final music video, but 1973 was that. But so I'll be releasing that as well. But anyway, 6 tracks, every 6 weeks or so, starting this Friday.
Awesome, man. Like I said, I've listened to the music. I love it. And I can't wait for more things to come from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, it's going all out on this one.
Definitely, man. It was great tribute for your brother, and it's great music.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, man. You take care. Hopefully, you're coming my way one day, or
there's no doubt.
Up, and I might be able to go to Toronto one day again.
Yeah, no doubt. We're definitely gonna be hitting the States as soon as we can. Buffalo is in my radar for sure.
Perfect. All right, man. You take care of yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, brother. Thanks so much. Take care.